Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for requesting this special private tapping session that we are going to do to go along with the episode that we recorded. So, Jyotsna, I know when we recorded, you were talking about potentially tapping on confidence to launch a book. Is that still something that is top of mind for you and your listeners?
Well, right now I've launched a new project, Theresa, and I would need some energy boost for that. So
Wonderful.
this is a new project where this is going to be our first multi-author book that we are publishing at Happy Self Publishing. So in the past, clients used to write the book and come to us, or they would come to us with help in writing and publishing and all of that. But now we are launching the book and we are recruiting authors to be a part of it. So we just launched it last week, and already like a few authors have shown interest. But I want to make this a separate vertical of my business where every 2 months we are launching a multi-author book. So I would need some help with that.
That is awesome. Very cool. And so you're still helping people to create their books and get self-published, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And with those people, is the difficulty around writing it still a thing that they're probably struggling with as well?
Yeah, of course. That's an ongoing struggle for everyone.
I know when we talked before, you said you were also, in addition, I'm sure, to this project that you're launching now, which sounds amazing, that you wanted to write your own book again,
Yeah.
like that you had, written your first book 6 years ago, I think you mentioned, and
Yeah,
you were
7 years
saying how you
something.
wanted to write something that had more to do with self-publishing, but you
Exactly.
hadn't done
Yeah.
it yet. So
Yeah.
we'll get fired up around all those things, and it should also clear and give you some confidence for the new project. But it sounds like that new project has taken off pretty well. So that is awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to do EFT tapping, and you're just going to follow the leader. So I'll say something, you'll say it back. We'll tap on the same points together. And for those people that are tapping along with us and trying this at home, you can do the exact same thing that we're doing. And if something gets said that isn't exactly in alignment with what's happening in your life right now, you can change those words. EFT really likes specificity. So if I get the feeling a little wrong or the thing a little wrong, feel free to change it. But also know that if you just say what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that it's going to create any problems for you or change your current reality or anything else. It will only serve to help regulate your nervous system and help you to feel better. So there can be no harm done either way. But we'll work on that confidence to take action and to, launch this project, write the book, launch the book, whatever it might be in this tapping that we're going to do. So we're going to start on the karate chop point on the side of the hand. And we tap here and then we go through the points, which I'll just mention before we start going, because I'm not going to say the points as we go. I'm just going to do them. It'll be the top of the head, the eyebrow point, the side of the eye, underneath of the eye, underneath of the nose, underneath of the mouth, the collarbone, and then underneath of the arm. So those are the main points that we're going to work with. I might throw in some fingertip tapping. And if we do that, then it'll be just the side of the finger, pretty much where the fingernail meets the nail bed on the sides of the fingers. And we might tap a little bit on the back of the hand. If we do that, it's between the pinky and the ring finger. It's called the 9 gamut point there. And everything else, I'll just walk you through. So it'll be really easy. And each one of those points relates to different meridians in the body and helps release those different energetic blockages that may be creating feelings less than confident or self-doubt or imposter syndrome or all the things that come up for us when we're creating something new and trying to get it up out into the world. So we'll start here on the side of the hand. Even though I want to write this book and I just haven't yet.
Should I repeat?
You are. You know what? And before we start, I'm going to stop myself. We're going to use our scale 0 to 10 and rate this first, because it's pretty important for us to know how far we got at the end of it. So when you're thinking about, and don't try to feel good about the situation right now. Try to feel bad about the situation right now, because that brings the negative feelings to the surface so that we can work with them. So when you're kind of getting yourself fired up about the negative feelings that you have inside, on a scale of 0, where everything is cool, confident, collected, and 10, where it's like you're really kind of anxious and full of self-doubt or imposter syndrome or lack of confidence, where do you feel like you are on that scale right now?
6.
Okay. I'm going to write that down for you, and we'll just know where we got to. And I'd like everybody else doing this too to write it down, because sometimes we make such a shift that we're like, oh no, it must not have been that bad. And we really need to, it helps you to feel more empowered and to realize the work that you've actually done when you track it. So that's what we're going to do. And yes, you are going to repeat after me. So we'll start over here and just repeat after me. Even though I want to write this book and I haven't.
Even though I want to write this book and I haven't.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though I have worries and fears.
Even though I have worries and fears.
And self-doubt that keeps getting in my way.
And self-doubt that keeps getting in my way.
I honor these feelings and I plan to do it anyway.
I honor these feelings and I plan to do it anyway.
Even though I sometimes feel I lack the confidence to write.
Even though I sometimes feel that I lack the confidence to write.
Or the confidence to publish and launch.
Or the confidence to publish and launch.
And the whole process can seem really overwhelming.
The whole process can seem really overwhelming.
I really want to do this.
I really want to do this.
I really want to be a published author again.
I really want to be a published author again.
And I love, accept, and forgive myself.
And I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Now we're going to start going through the other points. All of this self-doubt when it comes to writing my book.
All of this self-doubt that comes when I'm writing this book.
I just don't want to do it.
I just don't want to do it.
It's going to take forever and it's going to be hard.
It's going to take forever and it's going to be hard.
What if nothing comes of it?
What if nothing comes of it?
And I waste a year of my life writing a book that no one cares about.
I waste a year of my life writing a book and no one cares about.
What are my reasons for not taking action?
What are my reasons for not taking action?
I'm not lazy.
I'm not lazy.
And I have a ton of value to offer.
And I have a ton of value to offer.
So what keeps telling me that I'd be safer not doing this?
So what keeps telling me that I'll be safe for not doing this?
I must believe.
I must believe.
There's a cost to this.
There is a cost to this.
And I must have some sort of fear around it.
And I must have some sort of fear around it.
So what is it, brain?
So what is it, brain?
What are you worried about?
What are you worried about?
Allowing myself to get curious about my perceived limitations.
Allowing myself to get curious about my perceived limitations.
And clearing out this lack of confidence.
Clearing out this lack of confidence.
And all of my pretend obstacles.
And all of my pretend obstacles.
Down to a cellular level.
Down to a cellular level.
I have spent so much time.
I have spent so much time.
Even if just subconsciously.
Even if it's just subconsciously.
Marinating in feelings that I'm not good enough.
Marinating in feelings that I'm not good enough.
Or that no one will read my book.
Or that no one will read my book.
Or it won't be a bestseller.
Or it won't be a bestseller.
Or it won't propel my business or my message forward.
Or it won't propel my business or message forward.
And all that anxiousness and worry.
And all the anxiousness and worry.
Creates an energy that will fulfill those beliefs.
Creates an energy that will fulfill those beliefs.
It puts me in a headspace.
Puts me in a headspace.
To confirm my doubts.
To confirm my doubts.
And to look for evidence that it won't work.
And to look for evidence that it won't work.
And boy, I can find that easily when I start looking.
And boy, I can find that easily when I start looking.
And it makes me talk myself out of my success.
And it makes me talk myself out of my success.
And that's exactly what I don't want to do.
That's exactly what I don't want to do.
So I'm going to clear all of this up right now.
So I'm going to clear all of this right now.
down to a cellular level.
Down to the cellular level.
All of this resistance
All of this resistance
about getting this done.
about getting this done.
I choose to believe there are benefits to doing this,
I choose to believe that there are benefits to doing this,
and that they are greater than the costs that I'm fearing.
and they are greater than the costs that I'm fearing.
All the delusions that make me feel low vibe and slow me down.
All the delusions that make me feel low vibe and plumb me down.
What I focus on, I'll create more of.
What I focus on, I'll create more of.
So I cannot say that I want to write a book.
So I cannot say that I want to write a book.
And have the confidence to launch it
And have the confidence to launch it
while I'm nurturing doubt and anxiety and worry.
while I'm nurturing doubt, anxiety, and worry.
I am energy.
I am energy.
And by choosing a thought that aligns with what I actually want,
And by choosing a thought that aligns with what I actually want,
I have much greater energy
I have much greater energy,
and much greater capacity to create that instead.
much greater capacity to create that instead.
So my thoughts are really important,
My thoughts are really important,
both in the book that I write and about the book that I write.
both in the book that I write and about the book that I write.
These thoughts create my feelings.
These thoughts create my feelings.
And from that point, I take action.
From that point, I take action.
I choose to take action.
I choose to take action.
I am ready to write this book.
I am ready to write this book.
I feel motivated
I feel motivated
and I want to do this.
and I want to do this.
I've spent enough time feeling and thinking about this.
I've spent enough time feeling and thinking about this.
I'm ready for the doing.
I'm ready for the doing.
And it's time to write and launch my book.
And it's time to write and launch my book.
I'm excited to launch it
I'm excited to launch it
to an audience of readers that cannot wait to learn from it.
to an audience of readers that cannot wait to learn from it.
I'm ready to be an expert on purpose
I'm ready to be an expert on purpose
and hold that space for myself.
and hold that space for myself.
I'm ready to ditch my excuses
I'm ready to ditch my excuses
and get conscious of my thoughts
and get conscious of my thoughts
so that I can plan and execute this project,
so that I can plan and execute this project,
this dream of mine,
this dream of mine,
one step at a time
one step at a time
until it is done.
until it is done.
And I'm ready to find a partner or a hand to hold if I need it,
And I'm ready to find a partner or a hand to hold if I need it,
or a business that can keep me accountable
or a business that can keep me accountable
and help me with the many steps of the process so I don't get overwhelmed,
and help me with the many steps of the process so that I don't get overwhelmed,
so that I don't fall back into old ways.
so that I don't fall back into my old ways.
Side of the fingers. I am committed to being an impactful author,
I'm committed to being an impactful author,
a change maker,
a change maker,
and getting my book out into the world.
and getting my book out into the world.
This is my time and I'm ready for the next step.
This is my time and I'm ready for the next step.
Back of the hand. It's go time.
It's go time.
All right. I want you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Then I just want you to think about all the fear and the self-doubt and the lack of confidence And tell me where you feel like you are on that scale of 0 to 10 that we talked about before we tapped.
What does 0 and 10 mean?
0 means all gone, you're great, good to go. 10 means a lot of, anxiousness and worry and stress about the situation.
I think I'm at 2 right now.
Oh, that's great. Nice big shift from a 6 to a 2 in, just like 12, 15 minutes, something like that. So that's a big shift. So, when I'm tapping with clients at this point, this is where I kind of say, okay, so 2, what's that made up of? What's that 2 still have for you? What is the feeling that's still there?
The feeling that is stopping me?
Yeah. What's the negative feeling that's still left?
Why it's not a 0 is what you're asking.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel I just need to take that next step. If I do that right away, then it can move to 0. I think I just have to reach out to my team and let them know that I'm writing this. Once I take that action step, I think I'll be unstoppable after that.
I'm sure you will be. And you've done this before, so you know the ropes, and that should put you on a good path for it. And hopefully this will really help a lot of the people that are, writing books with your guidance, or, trying to start a book of their own, to get that confidence, to take that first step, that next step, whatever it is, and really, dig into it. So I always say, I love it when people email me. So if you've done this round and you've had any kind of thing come up for you, an aha moment, you want to share, your before and after numbers, whatever that might be, I love hearing about it. You can email me, Theresa at theresalearlevine.com. And I'm sure that you'd love to hear from people too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This has been amazing.
What is your email address?
Mine is Jyotsna, Jyotsna, at happyselfpublishing.com.
Perfect. So we would love to hear from you. I'm sorry, what were you getting ready to say before I interrupted you?
Oh, no, I was just saying that I realized what was stopping me, Theresa, was the fact that I don't consider myself to be a good writer. And I feel that I am not in a position to talk about book writing because I myself don't like to write. But I realized that I'm serving those authors like me who don't like to write. So in my book, I'm actually going to show them strategies as to how they can get their book written, even if writing is not their super skill. So why should I focus on people who are great writers already? Let me focus on people who don't want to write. So that was a big mindset shift, because let me focus on my strengths rather than worry about my weaknesses and keep postponing the book.
Absolutely. And, as you write and you come across those like feelings of resistance, because like you're saying, I don't feel like I like to write, or that I'm a good writer or whatever, you can come to these strategies of EFT and just lean into those feelings, even though I don't feel like I'm a good writer, or even though I really don't like doing this and I don't feel like writing, I love, accept, and forgive myself, that the feeling, the conflicting feelings that go back and forth about, really wanting to get this out into the world, but struggling with the process. So you'll get there. I know it'll be amazing. And I can't wait to read it. And I thank you for tapping along with me today, and everybody else who requested the video. I appreciate that as well.
What was this magic? Tell me the science behind this. This is amazing.
Well, I mean, I guess we didn't really go into the science on it on your show, did we? We talked.
No, we didn't. We were talking about how you set up this business and stuff like that. But this is really unique. I mean, very different, right? And it's not complicated. It's simple to follow.
It's so easy. And I mean, it really mimics a lot of things that we do to calm our nervous system anyway. People wring their hands, and those are meridian endpoints, or you get stressed and you rub your temples or whatever.
We do it spontaneously on our own.
Yeah. I mean, it's the mix of the ancient Chinese medicine with the meridians and the modern psychology with really like feeling into what you're being affected by negatively. So, and it can be way simpler than even what we just did, I mean, I had a little bit of time to think on what we talked about when we recorded the episode. So I was able to, come up with some ideas. I would have probably come up with something similar off the cuff, but just kind of being negative. Like, you get to be negative, you get to express those feelings that don't feel good, and that helps them to release. It doesn't, ingrain them, it releases them. And then once, you know, the levels get down, you weren't like, you were sick. So I could kind of feel, and also like watching you, I kind of tell like things were coming down a little bit. So then we can flip it to some more positive things, like, you know, the more the affirmations and things of being, you know, committed to really following through and doing a good job with it and all of that. But if it's something that's really difficult, you might stay in the negative for a few rounds and kind of keep reassessing things and figuring out what's left. But it regulates the nervous system. And because it goes right to the amygdala, which is our fight or flight, and it bypasses like the other parts of the brain where like talk therapy normally is working. It calms, you know, all four bodies, the mental, the physical, the emotional, and excuse me, mental, what did I say? Mental, physical, emotional, and gosh, what's the fourth? How am I getting my four bodies confused?
The energy body.
Yeah. Sorry, like counting, but not remembering what I'm talking about. It gets them all at the same time. So it's not like you're just like logically understanding that like, well, I should feel better, but I don't, you know, you're actually feeling better because it's calming everything at the same time. And it's taking your cortisol levels down really quickly. Like all the stress hormones are going down. So it's allowing that space for all the feel good hormones, you know, to love, acceptance, and forgiveness to come and fill in, because you can't have one up while the other's down and vice versa. So if you can lower the stress hormones, you can feel a lot better. So a little bit of it, but
so I think, you know, repeating after you itself is very powerful. And, you know, moving from that negative to positive, I think because unless we acknowledge the negative, there is no point in just listening to the positive. So it doesn't
have anywhere to be nurtured and grow, because there's still, like I always explain, it's kind of like a garden with a bunch of weeds and stuff. Unless you get the weeds out of the garden, it's really hard to plant like the beautiful rose bushes or whatever it is that you want to grow and flourish, because it's still going to get overtaken by the weeds. And, you know, EFT, when you get to the root of the cause, it doesn't come back. You know, you can go to talk therapy and talk about something for years, decades, whatever, and keep being triggered by the same thing over and over again, even if you feel a little bit better after each therapy session. But with EFT, you get to the root cause and it's just not going to bother you anymore. It really does improve consciousness and help you level up.